Hi ladies! So today's video is on affordable question mark luxury. So these are basically holiday palettes from high-end brands that I think are really worth the buck. Basically I have two of them, one from Bobbi Brown and one from Nars. So I'm going to do the Bobbi Brown one first and also to demonstrate it on my face, like half of my face for each. So if you are only interested in the Nars one, you can skip ahead to this certain time code ahead for the Nars one. So I'm gonna start with the Bobbi Brown one. On my face actually is just a very simple BB cream base. Okay, so for Bobbi Brown there are actually many different palettes. So there's a 8 eyeshadow palette, there's a like eye and cheek palette, but for me here in Singapore, there's actually a Tangs exclusive palette. This is called the Mini Eye palette. This is the packaging. So really very nice. It's actually a really small size if you compare it to the size of my palm. So the actual product looks like this gorgeous packaging as usual, Bobbi Brown, and you open it up and you will see actually a quad eyeshadow, and then you can pull out a compartment below. Okay. Affordable luxury, I'm very careful with this. So you actually get 8 eyeshadows, and this retails for $68, which I think is really worth it because similarly for 8 eyeshadows, the warm and cool palettes actually are like $89 or something like that. So I feel that although the eyeshadows are a little bit smaller in the size each, I think that it does not matter to me that much because I'm not like a high frequency user and I have to calculate the grammage of each pot of eyeshadow, so that's fine. So today what I'm gonna do is kind of try and do a more light neutral sort of sparkly look because in this palette you have actually three matte shadows. All right, these are matte shadows, and you have these two that are a bit have a sheen kind of shadow, and you have these three which are really sparkly. So I wouldn't say that the pigmentation is that much actually. For the matte shadows, the pigmentation is okay, but for the shimmery ones, most of the time you really get a lot of shimmer and it's quite sheer in that sense. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this side of my eye and going to start on trying to do a look. Basically, I will use, let me just try and use my elf brush. Okay, and then I will put on a base color of this gray, this sort of light gray color. So kind of I'm just going to pat this. I find that the Bobbi Brown is not like super pigmented, so you kind of have to, at least for this palette, you kind of can't do it like too light-handed, so just pack on the color and it's actually quite nice and smooth. Okay, so I have on some of that gray. Now next what I'm going to do is that I will go in with this brown color and start to put it at the end of the eye and start to blend it in. Just to give it a little bit of warmth so that the gray does not look so dead. Okay. It's quite buttery for the matte shadows. Okay, and once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go in with my kind of crease brush, and I'm going to go in with this darker color, this dark brown color. There, I'm just going to go into the crease and go near the lash line. Okay, once that is done, okay, you kind of have a base, very basic neutral eye in this way. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go in with a kind of smaller brush. So sorry, I'm trying to find my brush here. A kind of smaller eyeshadow brush, something like this, where you can control a little bit more. And then I am going to, I really like this like magenta-ish color. So I'm going to take this shimmer magenta and try to pack it on the middle part of the eye. You might get a bit of fallout with this, so I'm just packing it in the middle. You'll actually see some sparkle starting to appear there. I think this will be like really great for like if you're going for your Christmas party, you really need that sparkle. And I think that even though this is like not super pigmented, I think that the kind of shine it gives is very multi-dimensional. It's not the cheap very just like one way kind of shine. So if you can see that, like for example when I blink my eye, the sparkle changes. Now, so we want to go for a more party look too. So I'm going to move in with this white color and just put it at the inner corner and underneath the eye. Inner corner, kind of under the eye. Put some of this to brighten the eye out. Okay, just brighten it a little bit. And then to really pack on the party, I will go in with this gold, I think I'll go in the gold color and put some of that under the eye. Such that it gives the even your lower eyelid a nice sparkle. So I'm going to just tap it down here. Okay, in the middle of the eye. And what you can do is that to even bring more sparkle, I'm going to just use this crease brush. Take the gold and put it on the part that is kind of above your crease. But under your eyebrow, kind of your eye bone. I don't know if that's what it's called. Area. Now, if it's not packing on well, just dab it then. Yeah. Okay, so it gives your eye really a very sparkly look. Okay, so you see the sparkles. You get some at the middle of the on the under eyelid. You get it on your eyelid, the purple one, and then you get some on this highlight. So I think it's great for a party look. And of course you can add in the pink for a more pink look if you like. But I think that this is a nice party palette. I think it has proven that you can do a simple matte eye, but also you can kick it up a notch to make it very festive, which is really what this is about. Yeah. So okay, so I'm going to cover up this side. This is what it looks like. Quite a nice palette after all. Now, so I'm going to move on to the second palette. This is the Nars laser cut palette. This is the eye chicken lip palette. So it has more products compared to the Bobbi Brown one, but it is more expensive. Okay, this is the packaging. This is retails for $85, but I really think that it's very worth it. Its eyeshadows are a lot bigger than the Bobbi Brown ones. Okay, so this is the actual product. Okay, very nice packaging from Nars as usual. It's a bit thick. compared to this Bobbi brown one. What I really like about this is that it's so compact and handy to bring around. And when you open it, okay, this is what you get. Sort of a cameo kind of combination of eyeshadows. You get like a beige color. This is a kind of shimmer, sheen, not the crazy glitter color, but shimmer. And this kind of cameo green color. You get a Nars Dolce Vita lip gloss. And when you flip open this, you get a Laguna bronzer. It's really famous bronzer. And you get this blusher that is in the color Daydream. Yeah. So I think that this is really worth it because I think that even though they are not full size, but this is maybe half size eyeshadows. And similarly, these are half size blusher bronzers, and with this like also sort of half size kind of lip gloss. I think it's really nice. It has a huge nice mirror. Basically, if you bring this on a trip, you just have to bring a base and you're pretty much covered. A base and an eyebrow pencil, you're pretty much covered for your trip. Yeah. So I'm going to use this on this side of my face. And let's see what we can do. So I think what I'm going to do is, firstly, I'm going to start working on the eye first. So I'm going to just take this out because I don't want it to drop. Now, I'm going to just put this base color all over my eyelid. Very straightforward way of application. This is actually my first set of Nars product, but I really think that the eyeshadows are so nice and buttery. I've actually gone past or went to look at the Nars counter many times before, but I've always like had to resist buying because it is a little pricey. So this palette is actually, palettes are really a great way to try out different brands product because you can get many different products, because sometimes you don't know if the brand is best for its lipstick or eyeshadows or blusher, and there are so many. Sometimes there is a clear cut star product, but sometimes there isn't. It seems like, oh, the whole brand on the whole is nice. So yeah, sometimes I like that. Now okay, so I have just put on a base color. Can't really see much happening there. And what I'm going to do next is to go in with this cameo color and to blend it on this side of my eye. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to start on the outer corner, right? And then I'm going to blend it inwards. Okay, and stop somewhere in the center of the eye. Okay, sometimes, like the first layer, if you don't find it coming out, you should layer one layer and keep layering a second layer instead of just applying a lot, like digging in and applying a lot at one time, because that way you'll get like quite a patchy application. So really, I mean, it's kind of to enjoy yourself. Don't I mean, if you have the luxury, enjoy yourself. Yeah, there's no need to kind of rush and be all messed up and feeling stressed out at the end of the day. Okay, so kind of I have spread this green out a little bit to give it a little bit of a more interesting shape. I'm building this like triangular shape on my eyes. Make it a little bit more interesting. Okay. And if I want to blend it, I'm gonna keep this edge, but I'm just gonna blend the eyeshadow inside so that it blends nicely with that base color I just applied. Okay, so that is the green cameo and the base color. And what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to take a kind of smaller brush that I can blend. Yep, looking for my brush. Okay, I'm gonna use this slanted kind of blending brush. I'm gonna take this like shimmery color and put it under the eye to kind of brighten it. Because I'm really trying to just demonstrate all the different things in the palette. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the end and swipe it across. So this gives you a very like soft shimmer. And then I can also take this and bring it up this edge. Dust a bit at the front. So if you can see, actually now there's a shimmer going across the lower lid of my eyes. Yep. Okay, so that's for the eyeshadow part. I think it applies quite nicely. So now I'm gonna move on to the bronzer and blusher. I'm gonna use my my blusher brush from Real Techniques. I'm gonna start out with the bronzer first. So this is the Laguna. I think yes, the bronzer is Laguna. So it's a very nice brown color. Put some. I'm gonna do kind of a contouring with this bronzer. So again, just place it under the cheekbone and then blend it. Okay, now I think the annoying part is that because it's half size, this brush is a little bit difficult to get in there. So I think I'm gonna switch to a smaller blush brush, which is okay, this contour brush. I think this fits the palette much more. Yes, fantastic. Okay, I'm going to use this, swipe it down here. I think that it is quite pigmented, but I feel that my skin tone is a little bit darker than, the usual skin tone, so it is not showing up as much as I like. Okay, it's showing out a little bit, but it's quite subtle here. Now, so what I'm going to do next is to then take the Daydream blusher, okay, and just apply it. It's quite nice. It's a very nice natural color. Don't know if it's really showing up much on the camera, but it's quite a nice, very natural looking color here. Okay, so yeah, this is the bronzer and blusher for this palette. And last of all, I'm going to use this Dolce Vita lip gloss. Okay, so this nice my lips but better color. Okay, I placed a bit too much there. I think it's a pretty nice lip gloss. It's not sticky at all. It's very shiny. Feels very moisturizing. Doesn't feel like it's like going to make my lips all cracky. I think this is a really nice and usable lip gloss. So that's the Dolce Vita lip gloss. Yep, so on this side of my face, I'm gonna cover. Okay. So on this side of my face are products in this Nars palette. Okay, the laser cut palette on here. Okay, and on this side is the Bobbi Brown mini eyeshadow palette. So which do you think is like a better palette to invest in? I I personally think the Nars palette is really good value for money, but somehow I kind of like all the weird stuff that not say weird stuff, the sheerness. I don't know if this makes sense. Like the Bobbi Brown, the colors and the sheer textures somehow is really nice and light as well, and I really like that it is so small. It's very travel friendly, whereas the NARS one is a little bit bulky for all of that. And I think that the shades, I really like the eyeshadows, but I think that the bronzer and the blusher, maybe it doesn't suit like darker skin tones that well. It's not showing up this like really well, because for example, if I use perhaps the color selection, I don't know. So for example, I have this elf blush. This is of course a different color altogether, but however, I feel that I get much more out of this blush. So if I just apply it on this Bobbi Brown side, I mean, partially it's not showing up on my camera, but I do think that, with this one swipe, I get much more out of this color than that particular color that is given to everybody. So of course, it's a very nice color. I think it will work if you are slightly lighter than me, but I'm just really brown. Yeah, and this bronzer is not showing up much compared to my own honey bronzers. So I don't know. Maybe if I um experiment with it a little bit more, I can figure out how to get it to work nicely for myself also. But both, I really like the both palettes. So, well, let me think. Let me know what you think, which palette you will get. Of course, there are many more other Christmas sets out there, but I really think these two palettes are those that are the most bang for your buck and worth the money. Alright, so I hope you're enjoying yourself and have a great day. Bye!